My micromanaging shift manager gave me the worst closing shifts during finals, so I resigned and immediately broke the scheduling system. I was working through college at a massive nationwide electronics retailer. The money was decent, but the management was atrocious, especially my shift manager, Kendra. Kendra hated students because she believed our school commitments made us unreliable, despite my perfect attendance record. She micromanaged every break, every register transaction, and constantly complained about my availability. My final exam period arrived, and I had submitted my availability request 3 weeks in advance, asking for lighter closing shifts and no shifts at all on my 2 main exam days. Kendra approved the request, smiling sweetly. When the new schedule dropped, I was blindsided. Kendra had deliberately scheduled me for 5 consecutive 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. closing shifts, leading directly into my toughest final exams. The schedule was so bad it guaranteed I would fail my classes from sheer exhaustion. I confronted her privately. Kendra leaned in conspiratorially. She said, "You need to decide if school is more important than your job. The schedule stands." When I told her this was unacceptable and unfair, she just shrugged, suggesting I find someone else to cover the shifts, knowing full well nobody wanted those brutal closings. I didn't try to swap shifts. Instead, I secured a less demanding remote job immediately. The next day, I typed up my 2-week notice, handed it to the general manager, and explained that Kendra's malice forced my hand. The GM was apologetic but refused to change the schedule, citing store policy about scheduled labor needs. Fine. 2 weeks it was. But I wasn't just walking away quietly. Our scheduling system was an ancient proprietary piece of software designed by a company that went bankrupt in 2005. I had spent countless hours debugging it for the IT department, and I knew its major flaw: it handled staff transfers poorly, especially when those transfers involved overlapping shifts or immediate termination flags. During my very last shift, 1 a.m., the store was empty. I accessed the scheduling terminal under the pretense of checking inventory flow. I didn't delete anything, which would have been obvious. Instead, I used my elevated credentials to initiate 3 simultaneous fake internal transfers for myself. The first transfer sent me to a store 500 miles away, the second transferred me to the payroll department, and the third simultaneously flagged my employee profile for immediate termination due to the transfer conflicts. The system, unable to reconcile the conflicting transfer and termination data, experienced a cascade error. It didn't delete the schedule, it corrupted the schedule file entirely. All of next week's shifts for the entire store were rendered unreadable, replaced by blank time slots that triggered payroll warning flags. The system then locked the scheduling module entirely to prevent further corruption, requiring a major IT intervention. I clocked out at 6 a.m. By 10 a.m., the store was in chaos. Nobody knew who was supposed to open. Kendra tried to fix it but found the system locked. She had to manually call every single employee to create a temporary schedule written on a whiteboard. Payroll freaked out because nobody was properly scheduled. The system stayed down for 4 days while corporate IT flew in a specialist to untangle the mess. Kendra was absolutely demolished by the GM for the scheduling catastrophe and the resulting payroll nightmare, and she was ultimately stripped of her scheduling duties. The specialist later commented that the system looked like it had suffered a digital aneurysm. I passed all my finals with ease.